Hey guys, here I am with another video, and on this channel we are speaking about learning languages, and also I'm sharing my details of living in Germany. And it's been a year now since I moved here, and in this video I'm going to talk about what I expected and what I really got with moving here. The first thing is rent. And I knew that to rent a flat, it's pretty tough, especially in big cities, especially in Berlin, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't go study in Berlin. I'm studying in a small town, and that's true. It's notoriously tough to find a place in Berlin, and that's why I actually consider commuting to Berlin. I did that with intensive language courses for a month, and it was pretty much okay. I had to take a train 1 hour one way, 1 hour back. And when I find internship in Berlin and when I find a job in Berlin, I actually consider commuting because it's so hard to find a flat in Berlin. You can't really imagine if you didn't try. If you found any flat, no matter how big it is, no matter if it's good condition, bad condition, just take it, because it will take you months or maybe even a year or longer to find another one. So many people looking for a flat in Berlin, they're actually queues 200, 300 people waiting to see the flat and then waiting to get chosen to be rented the flat. And one thing that I didn't know about renting a flat in Germany is that you have to actually prepay your utilities. For me, the standard is that you first use electricity, use water, and then you pay for what you use. But here you have to prepay that, and then after a year they will see how much you used and then give you extra money or take more money from you. Next thing, there's no Sunday shopping in Germany, and I actually expected that, but I didn't expect it to be so empty in Germany on Sundays. Well, except for big cities, but I don't live in a big city, so that's what it is. And it's really inconvenient at times because, for example, in small towns, there's no Spätis, small stores that are always open. On Sundays, everything is really closed. The only thing is that gym is open, and that's really convenient. You can make Sunday your gym day. So very healthy. Next thing is Ruhezeit, the silent time. And I expected this to be really very important for everyone in Germany, but in student dormitories looks like this doesn't really work. So there are often student parties in the evening, whatever time. It may be very loud, and the walls in student dormitories are not too thick very often, so you can hear everything. Ruhezeit doesn't really work. And what really surprises me is that students smoke weed, even though it's illegal, and no one really cares about it because previously I lived in Russia, my homeland, and in China, where I studied, and I lived there for 4 years, and their students behave completely differently. For example, in China, you would not find them taking any illegal substances. They would be just kicked out of the university, and that's going to be super dramatic for them because they just put everything on stake to get into university. Another thing that I expected from Germany is Ordnung. Everything should be in order, but that's not really true. I guess so many people around the world have this stereotype about Germany that everything is in order, but transportation system here in Germany is such a mess you can't even. I couldn't imagine. The trains like Deutsche Bahn, I'm not even speaking about the thing that they're getting late sometimes for hours. You have to wait for them for hours. Sometimes they don't even come, and you don't get notifications. They don't announce anything. They don't say anything. The train just doesn't come. And no one knows why that happens. And people just wait on the platform, and train doesn't come, and then you have to wait for the next train, and then hope that one comes, but you're never sure. Also this summer, airports in Germany were a mess, and thankfully I didn't take any planes, but I was following the news and seeing people queuing in lines for hours before their flight, and still not being able to take this flight because there's just not enough personnel anymore in the airports. That's really crazy. I didn't expect that from Germany. Also, I didn't expect Germany to be so, physically dirty in big cities. I heard that Berlin is very much underground, and expected it to be messy, and that's why people go there. They want freedom. They don't mind the messiness. They don't mind that it's vandalized, dirty, graffiti everywhere. That's okay for some people, and I can accept that. But other big cities in Germany can also be pretty messy, and platforms of train stations are dirty, and the trains are dirty. I guess companies just don't want to pay the cleaning personnel to really clean it. But I have to say that small towns and villages are so neat, tidy, clean, and good looking, and flowers everywhere, and roads are so perfect and clean, and little gardens are just so amazing. So I have to give it to Germany that some places are really neat and tidy and beautiful, and others are just, disgusting. Another thing that I did not expect from Germany is bad customer service. I mean, I expected it to be not so perfect because, it's Europe and that's how it is. I can accept that. I came here knowing that, but I didn't expect it to be so bad. Some things that I've experienced is getting shouted at in shops. For example, I would ask the lady, the worker in shop, about something, and I'm usually speaking in not such a loud voice, and I thought she didn't hear me, so I said again, Entschuldigung, I'm sorry, and then she shouted at me. Because I guess I was supposed to wait until she replies after a couple of minutes. But that's just normal. I realized that now that's just normal in Germany. Another example of businesses not being really customer oriented is that, for example, a bakery can close before its actual closing time. For example, I was really hungry and was hoping, to grab a sandwich at 5:40 something, 5:50, and the bakery is supposed to open until 6. It's written on its door, and the workers of the bakery, the employees, they were sitting outside, chatting and just relaxing, and I was really hoping to get leftovers what they had, but they were like, no, we're closed, even though it was not the closing time yet. So Feierabend is really a big thing in Germany. No matter they don't really care if they make that money or not. Also, if you happen to be going to some help centers, to some customer service in Germany, don't expect much. Because if you have some, sometimes they would help you, but if you really have some problems, if you really have some questions, they might not be willing to help you. And if you are having a discussion with them, if you want to find out what really happened, did you do something wrong, or they just overstepping their boundaries, they might threaten you to call the police, and that actually might happen, but it's not always bad for you, because if they are overstepping the boundaries, police might actually help you. What also may happen to you in Germany is that companies rip you off, and you can't actually get to them, and you just have to pay and get you out of the situation. For example, when we traveled, my boyfriend, he insisted on traveling with Reisenbüro, travel company, ordering everything from them, the hotel, the tickets, and I don't know how, but it happened so that our ticket back home from the vacation destination, it was changed. We were supposed to fly on Wednesday, and our ticket was changed to Saturday, without any notice. It just happened somehow, and the travel company wouldn't help us. They would say, "Oh, you have to address the airline," and the airline said, "It's not our business. Go to your travel company." And I guess something just happened in the system of this travel company, and they changed our tickets. And it's been half a year now. They don't say anything. They're not willing to help us, and we, of course, had to buy our tickets back home. Just additionally spend money on that, even though we had everything prepaid. And it's really hard to be in these situations when you don't speak German and you can't really stand up for yourself, oftentimes. So being a foreigner in this situation is just it doubles your problems. So you have to be really careful with these things. But I also have to say that there are some new companies, some startups that are really helpful, and they have amazing customer service. For example, I bought a phone case from this nice company, and it's like a Berlin startup, and the previous phone case, I guess the material was not really properly tried out by them, and it ended up crumbling a bit. So I addressed them, and they actually sent me new stuff without me paying anything. So I have to say it's not so hopeless, and some businesses are really good to their customers, and some businesses, mostly like older businesses, government supported businesses, they are not doing a good job. One surprising thing is that government offices here in Germany that I had to interact with, they actually were friendly. So many foreigners saying that they go to the Ausländerbehörde, the office that you go to when you have to renew your visa, and they just go out of there crying. They're being treated so poorly. But here in a small town that I live in, it's a student town, and here the offices are more or less friendly, and I didn't yet have any problems with them. So I'm so thankful for that, because that's really important to have some friendly government officials the place where you live. What else I didn't expect from Germany is that I would not almost make any friends. I expected that I would study at university as I do, and I would have so many friends like in no time, but it didn't happen. I guess one of the reasons is that I don't speak German yet. I'm learning it, but I'm not anywhere near the level where I can communicate with natives, without any problems on a variety of topics. So that could be a problem because I don't really feel comfortable joining any student unions or like student groups, and we have plenty of them here, because I know that when anyone who is not speaking the language is in the company of people speaking this particular language, he would feel uncomfortable, and that happens to me. Like if I go to a party where everyone except for me speaking German, they will end up speaking German, and like 10% of the time they will speak English. That just happens. That's just human nature. So I understand that, and I really push myself into learning German as much as possible and as quickly as possible. Also, I didn't expect a German student life be kind of boring for me, but I guess it's because I already have my master's degree, and here I'm doing another degree, and most of the students they are much younger than me, and that's why student parties are just really boring for me most of the time, and that's I guess also one of the reasons why I didn't really make any friends in Germany. So I'm really waiting until I go to internship, and until I can join a yoga club or some kind of sport club or another kind of German people's club, and really make my way into German society. But I really have to be thankful for my German boyfriend's family, because it really helps me out that I can hang out with them, and they're super friendly, and they're all German, and they try to speak English with me as much as possible, and I also can start practicing my German with them. So that's been very life-saving for me. So I can have their company. Another thing that I didn't expect from Germany is that I would learn German for so long. At first, it was that I had to do some paperwork. I had to get used to university, to the new courses, to the new education system. And first months in Germany, I was really stressed. Getting used to everything, getting used to this lifestyle, trying to stay on top of my studies. So I didn't pay much. I didn't spend much time learning German because I'm studying English, and German is not the most vital thing. Was not the most vital thing for me back then. So I expected I would learn German quite fast. In a year I would be speaking fluently, but a year has passed and I'm still B1 level. But here I'm really trying to do it. What I didn't expect from Germany is being actually so international. And this is amazing because here it feels like foreigners really have more opportunities than they have in, let's say, Russia or in China, where I used to live. There, being a foreigner, you have this limited abilities and limited career growth. But here in Germany, it feels like anyone can actually become part of society. And as a foreigner, if you speak good German, if you have nice education, you have work experience, you can really make it here in Germany. And even if you speak not perfect German, if you speak with an accent, it's so accepted by the society. It's just you really have to learn the culture, you really have to learn the norms of the society, and then you're good to go. What I also didn't expect from Germany is I thought I would feel happier here, but actually I've never been so close to depression before. Even though I lived in several countries. I lived in China, very far from my home, and then I lived in Africa, Ethiopia, also super far from my hometown. Little another culture. Here in Germany I feel very lonely, and a lot of foreigners I think also feel that here. Because it's kind of hard to feel yourself a part of society, and I feel it's so difficult for me to start new life here because I really have to learn language, and I have to get used to this education system that's new to me, and really try to build my life up from zero. Even though I told you about so many disadvantages of living in Germany, there are also some great things, like traveling is so easy here and it takes only a couple of hours and you can go to another country, completely another culture, another language. And that's amazing. So you can, relax a bit and see the world, see another countries, get to know other people. Also, why I'm willing to make so many sacrifices to stay here and really do create my life from zero from the beginning is that I know why I'm doing this and I have my reasons. I'm really willing to try hard, to study hard, work hard, and become a valuable member of German society. So I know why I'm doing this, and this really keeps me going. On this channel, I'm gonna be speaking more about my journey with learning German, and I'm gonna be continue sharing my life in Germany. So stick for that, and if you also live in Germany, be sure to leave a comment down below and share your experience.